Hey, morning. Welcome to my home. I'm Randy with After Another Adventure. This morning we're going to do mods. We're going to do a 3-inch suspension lift with foam cell, Iron Man. Alright, today we're going to be installing the rear coil springs, rear shocks, hard pan bar or track bar, all accessories, stay bar, relocation, brackets, and links. And then we're going to be adding on rear brake lines, extended rear brake lines, and then we're going to do a front differential drop with our new struts and upper control arms. This is going to be an all-day project, so that's all we got to do. Let's get the tires off, get the front skid plate off. So let's do this. It's time to get going. These will be the required tools. I'll have everything listed here. Skid plate bolt is loose. Alright, just remove the skid plate. It's missing the spacers. Seriously, Toyota, what the hell? Alright, next step will be to remove the ABS brake line from the upper control arm, and then we're going to have to remove the castle nut with the cotter key from the spindle arm from the upper control arm. So let's get this done. Just install the bolt right back into the spot where you took it out of, and the brake line. Don't be too strong with that, because it's a hard line onto the brake line back there. One right here. Alright. Got a key. New design for the cotter key. Alright, I'm going to leave that on a little bit and just take the sledgehammer, hit the flat side of the spindle arm. It'll pop right off. That way you won't damage the threads on the A-arm if you're not replacing the upper control arm. Alright, you want to secure your spindle so that it doesn't flop back. You pull out your CV joint out of the splines. Good place to fasten this where it'll be out of the way. Okay, next we're going to remove the 3 nuts on top of the shock tower, and then we're going to go and remove the bottom bolt on the shock. Okay, these are 14 millimeter breaker bar, just to break them loose. Or if you want, you can use 2 wrenches. Back one, that's probably what we're going to end up doing. Okay, once you got it broke loose, you can use your ratcheting wrench. Don't have much throw on this though. It's gonna be a pain in the butt. And you want to leave one of the nuts snug till you get the bottom bolt nut off, and then you can remove this. Ew, that was easy, too easy. Alright, remove the sway bar link. Okay, now to remove the shock from the shock filler. Okay, when you're installing the Iron Man strut, it has a left and right side, so make sure you grab the correct one. And it is substantially heavier than the TDR Pros. And try to be real careful not to scratch this up. Heiferbutt ain't the fucking word for it. Trying to get that shock in. But I gotta take this out anyway. Yeah, well.
That is the upper control.
Yep. Alright, since I have to replace the A-arms, I just went ahead and removed the A-arm to get the shock in there. It's a lot easier. And then go ahead and place your 3 nuts back on. And tighten those down. Put your bottom bolt back in. If you want to put some anti-seize on it, go ahead. Snug the bottom one up till you get it on the ground. Wheels back on and on the ground. And tighten these all the way down tight. Alright, I'll show you the difference between these A-arms. This is just pressed metal, standard OEM. Now, this is what I'm installing. This is forged. And when you put these in, it'll say upper control arm, left hand. So make sure you install the right way. Alright, just line it up, get the bolt started and slide it through. Make sure you got your washer on there. Get the other washer. Place on there with the nut. Just snug it up. Don't tighten it. Do that when it gets on the ground. Okay. This out of the way. So I just installed the arm and sway bar bracket, making sure that the arrow is pointed forward. There's the arrow, just like that. And then using their 8mm hexagon bolts. I haven't tightened it down because I want to secure everything to the spindle yet. But I just wanted to get that secure so it's not bouncing around. Okay, so I'm gonna hook up the sway bar into the spindle, putting back the nut, not tightening it down yet. Alright, if it doesn't line up, put the castle nut back on, put a wrench on it, don't go sliding any place, and you can move it that way. And tighten it down until it lines up with the cotter keyhole. There's no torque on this. The cotter key holds the castle nut in place. Once you got it in place, spin the cotter key so that the castle nut does not come off. Alright, now we need to reinstall the ABS line, and the bracket will need a little modification. The hole's going to need rounded out, and this tab is going to need bent. Let's get a step bit. Alright, once you get the fastener put in, just tap it down where you had to bend it. Get the brake line back on. Locator hole. Sing it, Frankie. Sing it. All right. Install that push pin. Install this push pin back in. And this one. Voila, we're good. And I'm definitely going to upgrade on these splash guards. These are pretty flimsy. I'm going to go with the heavy duty ones that they have out. Okay, just give a once over. This has been tightened, that's been tightened. The only thing that has been tightened, bottom shock, bolt, upper control arms. We'll do that when we get there. So now we move to the other side. All right, got the passenger side done. Got the sway bar relocation brackets fastened, tightened. Now I'm going to do the differential drop. It's 21, and let's take those off. Need a pry bar, bend this down, put the bushings between, and then I'll drop it enough so that you don't wear out your bushing inside the CV axle. Otherwise you'll start having leaks. Friction, that is a 22. Easy peasy. Right, gonna remove the rear shock, and we're going to the other side and remove that shock. Ouch. All right, your top nut is going to be a bear. There's no clearance whatsoever to get your 17 on there, and needle nose vice grips to hold on to the top of the shock so that it doesn't keep turning around while you're trying to unloosen it. Just groove down the body a little bit and grabbed a hold of it and took it off. Easiest way. I'm going to remove the bottom shock bolt. Smack the backside of the shock, and it'll come right off the spindle. All right, I got both shocks removed, and I'm removing the sway bar. This is a 12. All right, the reason why we're removing these so we can articulate the rear axle, get our coil springs out. And I've already moved to a bigger bump stop a long time ago, so I won't have to do that now. Okay, I'm going to jack up this side so I can remove the spring on the opposite side. Alright, that just popped right out of there. Really a lightweight spring. And the cone. And you definitely want to clean this out. Okay, we're going to use the Isolator Cone, and we're going to install this, hopefully without any issue. Alright, removing the passenger sway bar link. There's a Allen head that you have to put in, and I believe it's 8 and a 17 millimeter to remove the link. Alright, it's an adjustable link, so I'll install that, rest of it after I get everything connected. But coils are in. It was a bear. I had to disconnect the hard pan and disconnect the linkage dog bone from bracket up here to the bracket on the axle to give me more clearance, because I do not have compressors, and that allowed me to get the springs in there. So now I need to get the jack back up so we can get the shocks on. Hey, morning everyone. Yesterday was pretty rough trying to get those shocks in. It says you're going to need 3 hands, and you definitely do. My third hand's going to be a C-clamp. I'm going to try that. It was really a frustrating afternoon, trying to get the washers all stacked, the bushings, and then trying to get that nut on there with the clearance you have on the rear shocks. You don't have any clearance. Actually had to move the body some, and I'm going to see if that's enough. If not, I'm going to have to grind out some area to get in there, and we'll try that and try the C-clamp. But it's definitely frustrating if you're doing it by yourself. Alright, when you're installing the shock, you have 4 washers. This washer, the biggest flange, will seat up on the rail of the shock tower. And it seats right in that hole. Then your bushing will go flat side, radius up. Then on your shock, you go big hole, crown down, bushing, flat part down, curve up. Then you have your other flange washer, the short one, that'll go over that. Now you just slide this up in here carefully. Try to maneuver this nut on there. Goes without saying. You don't have much clearance. Just want to get the thread started. Yeah, I forgot something. A washer. It was too easy. Come on, off there. Yep. Don't drop. All right, what I did to get some clearance, took a ball peen hammer, my little handheld sledge, and just trimmed it out some. Instead of cutting it, I just pounded it out where I could get enough clearance, get everything on, get it situated. Then while holding it, I had the nut into my vice grips, needle nose vice grips, and all I did is come up, placed it on the shot, and threaded it, and it worked. I struggled with this hours yesterday on both sides and just got frustrated. If you don't have a third hand, and while you're holding it, trying to hold this up, spacers go flying off. Don't hold on to this. It's instinct to grab onto this, everything just flies out. There's nothing holding on to it. So that's what it is. But that worked. It took like 5 minutes. Oh my God. All right, to the next side. All right, use your vice grips, needle nose vice grips, to hold on to the flats of the shot while you tighten this down. Works great with the ratcheting wrench. Yippee-yi-yi. Installing the shock on the shock mount, lower shock mount. Make sure you put some anti-seize on there in case you want to remove the shocks later on, or the next person won't have a hard time doing it. Get it on the shock mount stud, just give it a couple whacks with your mallet. There you go. Sand tighten the bolt, torque it when it gets on the ground. Okay, got the new stabilizer links all fastened, tightened. Next thing to do, is change out the track bar. All right, need to remove this bolt. It's 19, and it's going to be a beast. All right, with a little precision, I believe it's coming off. That or it broke. All right, this is the new one. It's a good 20 pounds at least, if not more. It is solid, and it is adjustable. So, make sure the adjustable end goes to the driver's side. And this is probably going to need a little persuasion since it's already been torqued on the bracket and it closed up the tolerances. So, you want to get a hammer. Hammer time. Voila. Yep. All right, to line it up, just adjust the throw of it. once you get it on the ground, you're gonna have to do a final. Hand start it. There's a weld nut inside, so there's no other fastener.
Have a good one.
Hey, you too. FedEx, delivering more goodies. I believe that is it, besides the brake lines. I think I'm going to do those today. I got all week. Well, I believe we're done. I just need to put tires on and torque everything down. Do it once over. I've been getting a lot of questions what the measurement from the edge of the fender is to the center of my hub. To answer that, it's 23.5 inches for the front. For the rear, (25.5 inches). Now my coils, rear coils, are 400 pound rated. The front one, springs, are rated for 110 pounds extra. I went with heavier duty coil springs and springs on the struts, because I'm going to be towing a camper trailer, travel trailer, small 20-footer. Ranges at 3,500 pounds. So this is well equipped to handle that. And it's off-road, but not four-wheeling type off-road, boondocking type. But that'll be later. And another thing, the Panhard Bar. Where did it get its name? It's a mechanical type name, and it actually was developed by Panhard in France, 1887. And so it's been around for a long time. A lot of people refer it to as a track bar. That's what I've always known it as. But it has a lot of installations on vehicles, and it keeps your axle aligned center with your vehicle. When you adjust your lift, your original Panhard bar is set up for the ride height, the OEM ride height. And when you lift it, it sets that off. So your tires are going to come in and out of alignment. It won't be centered. And the way to fix that is to get an adjustable Panhard bar, or you can get the extension bracket, and I'll show you that later. But the way to find out, take a measurement from your side rail to the edge of your tire. Once you get that measurement, go to the opposite side, take that measurement also, and adjust your bar by the length, in or out, which way you need to go, until you're even on both sides. Make sure that you measure in the same area, because your frame rail is bowed out, bowed in, and so pick a spot where you're going to measure on both sides. Okay, on the Panhard bar, this is your adjustable link here. Just unloosen these lock nuts and then turn the adjuster right here until you got the correct alignment. And what it's actually going to do is push your axle to the left or push it to the right to where you get your alignment done. And like I said, just go to the frame, outside frame rail, and take your measurement to the edge of the tire. Okay, easy as pie. The adjustment's really easy. Make sure that you got it jacked up so that the axle can move freely.